when you think about your gut, a lot of us don't. Well, I think now more of us talk about it, right? But before, when I did medical school and whatnot, the only time I asked people about how they were pooping was if they had an acute abdominal problem. Like I thought maybe they needed a surgery or they might have a bowel obstruction or these kinds of things. And otherwise, nobody really ever talked about like how often they pooped. Like if you're not pooping at least once a day, every single day, like you're not at the ideal optimal level for getting toxins out of your body. For example, you should be pooping at least once a day. I would say twice a day. And we should talk about it. I think, with the gut health kind of movement, we are starting to talk about that. But for adequate, cycling of all of these bacteria and getting rid of all the toxins, that's one of the biggest things with the gut, right? Is that's an avenue for us to get rid of waste, is to poop it out. And if we're not pooping for 4 or 5, or some people I know don't poop for a whole week, like that ain't good. That's not good for you. And so paying attention to those simple cues and then doing the things that will help that. One is hydration, one is movement. If you're getting out and doing some form of movement for 20 or 30 minutes every day, that's going to help your poops. If you're hydrating really well, drinking roughly your body weight in ounces of water per day, that's going to help a lot. But getting real regular that way is the start. And then, there's a whole bunch of things that I add to it in the book. But I think those 3 things are easy. People can easily focus on them, and it'll really move the needle if you start paying attention.
Hey, this is Ari. I hope you enjoyed this little clip. And if you want to listen to the full-length podcast, the link for that is down in the description below. Also, one more thing before you go, I want to mention, in case you don't already know about it, our formula, Energenesis. This is an amazing product that has multiple compounds in it that are scientifically proven in numerous studies to increase your energy levels, not just by 3% or 5% or 10%, but by 30 or 40 or 50% in a very, very short time frame. So one of these compounds that I'll mention here is called NT factor phospholipid, and it is an extract of phospholipids that comes from lecithin, and they extract the pure phospholipids from this, things like phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylethanolamine, and many others. And these are the same fatty acid compounds, phospholipid compounds, that compose our cell membranes and mitochondrial membranes. And this specific patented formula has been shown actually to enter into the bloodstream undigested, basically without being broken down and denatured through the digestive process in the stomach and the intestines. It makes it into the bloodstream and actually makes it all the way to our cells and to our mitochondria, where it helps repair damaged mitochondrial membranes and facilitates our mitochondria functioning better. Now, all of that sounds like wonderful theory, and it sounds like it could be beneficial, but the real test is, has it actually been studied and been proven to increase your energy levels? And the answer is yes, absolutely. There are numerous studies outlined in a wonderful paper by a scientist named Garth Nicholson, in a paper called Lipid Replacement Therapy. I highly recommend checking this out if you're interested in digging into the research. But this compound has been studied in the context of multiple different kinds of chronic fatigue. Aging-related chronic fatigue, obesity-related chronic fatigue, obscure things like Gulf War illness, and numerous studies in chronic fatigue syndrome. And there are studies showing that this has the capability. They've taken one study, in fact, actually showed that in elderly adults over the age of 65, it restored their mitochondrial health, which had deteriorated heavily. It restored it to the level of healthy 29-year-olds, believe it or not. And they've actually measured energy levels in these people. And all of these studies across the board show improvements in energy of at least 25%, and typically more like 35 to 45% in just the span of between 4 to 12 weeks. That's how long all of these studies are, 4 to 12 weeks. They're showing dramatic, huge improvements in energy levels by helping to repair these mitochondrial membranes through this thing called lipid replacement therapy, using, again, this patented form of a phospholipid extract called NT factor. This is just one of about 20 ingredients proven to benefit mitochondrial health that you'll find in my formula Energenesis. So I strongly encourage you, if you are struggling with your energy levels, if you're dealing with chronic fatigue, go grab yourself a bottle or 3 of this, or subscribe and save. Try it out. You are going to be blown away by the results. We get so many testimonials. We get so many emails from people talking about how this one thing has transformed their lives. So I cannot encourage you strongly enough to give this a shot. And let's say you buy 3 bottles, try out the first one, give it a month. And if you don't notice significant improvements, you can return the unopened bottles to us for a full refund. So give it a shot. I really think you're going to be blown away by the results. The formula is called Energenesis, and you can get it at theenergyblueprint.com or click the link below. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you again very soon.